Hey Brew Tubers, yes it is once again Brew Day. Today is September 23rd, autumn equinox today, first official day of fall. As you can see, I have a nice healthy yeast starter going right here. For the first time ever, it's a brand new strain that White Labs has put out. This is Diego Super Yeast WLP090. So yeah, these guys are healthy buggers. It's supposed to be a very fast fermenting, very clean fermenting, high alcohol tolerant yeast strain. So this beer is not going to be very high alcohol, but I figure, hey, the faster it ferments for a hoppy beer, the better. So got a nice healthy starter going there. On the stove, strike water going. I want to get up to about 175 or so, and try to mash in around 149, 150. So this is going to be my what I'm calling my Kiwi IPA. I'm going to come up with a better name than that. It's going to be all New Zealand hop. So come back for the mash. Probably going to have to do this in my garage today. It's a pretty kind of foggy day out there.
Alright guys, time to mash in.
I need to put a little pH stabilizer in my water here. Just helps out. Don't know how much of a difference that makes, but I've been using it. It seems to be working. So I need to preheat. I didn't really preheat my mash tun this time, so I heated my strike water up higher than normal, over 180. So oh, and I'm already making a mess on the ground here. But there's the grains I have. It's split between British 2-row and American 2-row. Some a little bit of Crystal 15, some dextrin, carapils, and a couple pounds of Vienna in there. So a real light base for this IPA. Dough balls here. So you can see that right there. That's a nice little dough ball I got. So I'm going to take and break that up. Because what happens is inside of that little ball of grain, it's dry, so you're not getting any conversion. So there's another one. I wanted to go a little thicker mash this time than I did for the Hooky Brew. There's another one. So I'm just going to go through, get all those dough balls out, and then check my temperature, see where I'm at. Kind of shooting for anywhere from 149 to say 142 will probably work. It's a cooler day, so I don't know how this is dealing with, but yep, that's the mash. Okay guys, it's been actually about 70 minutes since mashing in. Normally I do just an hour, but I had to run some errands, get some ice. Just take our mash temp. A little higher than I wanted to be. I mashed in it, I thought about 151, but it looks like it's settled, or 150, it looks like it's settled in a little higher than that, which is okay, but so it might be a little sweeter and not quite as dry as I want, but hopefully those hops will help dry things out. I feel like Peter when I lick my thermometer, but I don't want that sticky word on there. Alright, so first thing, Vorloff. Don't be Chris Stelz, don't forget the Vorloff. Because I know he keeps brewing all these batches and forgets. So, yeah, you've seen me do this before. just make sure, I mean, if you look right when you open this thing, there's going to be a lot of like powdery, really hazy liquid coming out, which is grain that's kind of stuck, that's already down in your manifold. And you don't want that in your beer, because the more grain you get in your beer, the harsher flavors. You know, you get a lot of tannin stuff that's just, you're not going to like it. Okay, so you've seen me boil off, and then we're going to drain it. I'm doing a batch barge this time. Alright, so now we're draining liquid in there from the batch barge. Hose going up. As you can see, there's the grain bed. Most of the liquids looks like it's just finishing up. But I can maybe tilt it a little bit, get a little more water going in, but just finishing up draining the mash tun here. And then I'll get my sparge water going, which is in that kettle right there. Alright, so I'm being lazy again, so I batch sparged, got all my sparge water in there, and now I'm really trying to be patient this time and drain these second runnings slower, because I think the last few times I've batch sparged, I've just not been patient enough. And my efficiency was, you know, just a touch under where I set it to be, but I know I can do better with this, particularly with this manifold and this setup. I mean, I know I can be more efficient than what I have been getting. I keep missing my gravity. I'm just under, just a touch. When I set at 70%, I've been just slightly under. I've been like 68, 69% efficiency, which is pretty sucky, to be honest. I should get better than 70 with this. I have gotten better than 70 fly sparging, so batch sparging I know is going to be a little less efficient, but I think my other issue is just not being patient enough when I'm doing this second runoff, when I start filling up. So okay, sorry about the lighting. It's really dark in here, but yeah, it's gonna fill this thing up to about 7 gallons and get it boiling. All right, time to boil. Got this thing turned all the way up, or pretty much all the way up. Waiting for the boil to happen. Meanwhile, got my hops ready. This is my first edition. This is going to be Nelson Sauvin, Pacifica, Jade, and Southern Cross. And that's not the best smelling bunch of hop pellets ever. I'd be surprised. That smells absolutely fantastic. So those are going to go in first, and then I'm going to have a second edition as well for the boil early on. So I'm actually doing a 75-minute boil. 75 this is going in, and then I have 3 more varieties going in at 60 minutes. Okay, got all my hops in there. Had this very, 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 very slight boil over. So I kind of had like some bits of, I just turned my back for a second and the thing was all the way up to the top, and I got it off the heat as fast as I could. Minor boil over, lost a little bit of some of my pellet hops at the side, so I just upped half an ounce of Pacific Gem, and I'm fogging up here to kind of make up for that. But Pacific Gem, Motueka, and what was the other one? Pacific Gem, Motueka, and Pacifica went in for 60 minutes. So the rest of the hops are all going to pretty much the very end. So we'll come back for that. Okay, so I have the wort chiller in there, put my wort flock in. I wasn't boiling off as much as I wanted to. Kind of babied the boil along after the minor little boil over. So instead of going 75 minutes, I'm just going to go 90, which works because I mean I just have bittering hops in there right now. I'm not putting any flavor and aroma additions in yet, so it's just going to delay everything further along, and you know, helps drive off the DMS as well. So it's not a bad thing. Just not going quite the plan, so you just got to go with it. Okay, with 5 minutes to go, added in Pacific Jade, Pacific Gem, and Motueka hops into the boil. And at flame out, I'm going to add the rest. Should be what? Pacifica, Nelson, and Southern Cross. So a few more minutes, and I'm going to kill the heat on this one. Okay, guys, so I'm chilling down now. This thing's almost done. It's been about 45 minutes, and I'm well below 80 degrees right now. I'm just trying to chill it down to upper 60s or so. So there's my pump in there. I'm using a fountain pump to recirculate this ice water bath. In case you haven't seen my video before, We have really warm groundwater here in San Diego, especially during these warmer months. So I use an ice bath to recirculate really cold water through my wort chiller. I just have immersion and chiller going in there. So that's what I do, and it's almost time to stop the chilling process and then get it into the fermenter. Okay guys, I just got done transferring to the fermenter, and as you can see I pulled the sample from my original gravity, and it looks like I'm pretty much like dead on around 270. I'm going to get that foam away and take a temperature reading, see how close I am, but as you can see it's a nice golden color, kind of how I want it, kind of how an IPA should be. Maybe a slight orange tint in there I should say too. I had a darker gold and a really light orange, so pretty happy with the color. It's pretty hazy. I need to do a better job of getting rid of the cold break. I need to get a better job of filtering out all the hops, sediment, and the cold break. So that's something I need to work on. But I'm going to get a actual reading on this, and I'll post it at the end of the video. So usually I try to get about 5 gallons or so, and then I pitch my starter. I collected way more. I know that looks really dark in there, but that kind of shows you based on the color I just showed in the sample versus what it looks like in my better bottle. I am not going to put a airlock on that. I know this thing's going to go crazy. It's probably going to overflow. I'm probably going to have to get a blow-off tube going. So I'm going to see how this does in the next few hours, see how quick it goes, and then go from there. But yeah, I filled it up more than I wanted to. And this is supposed to be a really quick fermenting yeast. So we'll see. I'm actually going to turn this temperature down. I'm going to set it at 64. I was going to do 66, but I want this thing to kind of slow down. So let that thing cool, and that's going to wrap it up for brew day. Alright, so it's about a little past 8 o'clock in the morning next day after brew day. And as expected, thing blew my foil that I had covering it off. So now I got a nice big cross and foam on there. I do have my rubber stopper in there, so I don't have to worry about that. So now I just got to get a blow-off tube going. So I'm just cleaning out some tubing and a stopper. And if you look at it, it's kind of like it has its own blow-off going, because it has the foam kind of covering everything up, and then in the middle there's some bubbles coming up. The only problem is it's going to keep creeping up and up and up if it doesn't get that gas out. So yeah, blow-off tube on the way. Made a little bit of a mess. I got a towel down there to help clean that up. And but yeah, it's a nice healthy fermentation. You know, less than what a little over 12 hours maybe. I mean, when I got home last night, it looked like it was already starting to go pretty good. So we'll see how this one turns out.